Hey guys, and welcome to another Star Wars Destiny video. Today we're gonna try something new. Uh, we're gonna try something new. We're gonna try to actually, instead of playing a game, we're gonna be casting a game. So let's see. Interesting. We're gonna be casting a game between my brother and my cousin. Actually, we're just playing some late night tabletop simulator. Um, There should be a mode where I can see both players' hands, but whatever. I'm just gonna have fun casting without knowledge of hands. It's fine. Um, so we see, I believe, yep, the good old Yoda Ezra rookie pilot, which I showed off a little bit ago, being played by my cousin, and he wins a roll off selecting his own battlefield. Interestingly enough. Rolling out Ezra first here, I assume just to threaten resource steal. My brother's playing a very interesting deck. So Hondo FN. Hondo obviously either deals a ton of burst damage or steals resources for you early. And then those resources, if they're given to you by your opponent, can be used to play very expensive upgrades very quickly on FN. And he'll deal a ton of damage anyways. If, however, you take 3 damage, then FN is also, making a double use of an upgrade each turn and just pumping out a lot of damage. Very threatening. We will see, though, the potential for disrupt is very real with Ezra there. So, and with Hondo. So both decks are kind of high resource curves, oriented around stealing resources from their opponents. I'll be interested to see how this game turns out. I don't know if Hondo FN will be able to deal enough damage before the inbreak comes in. We're going to see if Karl decides to take the damage or not. He does. I believe that is the right choice. Luke's playstyle is kind of screaming, I don't have a 2-drop. I'm sitting with the 3-drop in my hand. With that early reroll there. We do see the double focus and the double special. So if Luke can't drop a 2-drop here, his game is most likely kind of ruined. It's pretty rough to suffer such an early yeah, we're gonna see that he doesn't like you on the Ezra special, at least. But we're gonna see most likely a Yoda flip to the other Ezra special to deny the resource. That is definitely a strength of Ezra with Yoda, just the consistent Ezra steals. We do see the salvage strand dropped. So along with Hondo's already good style of just disrupting your opponent, you also get salvage strand and Imperial inspection if you choose to run it. You have a little bit limited number of disrupt sides, but Hondo does have a disrupt on his dice. And you have limited number of resource sides, but between all the upgrades and FN's dice, you can typically roll them, and anytime you roll them, it is adding damage to your turn, most likely, just from having having Hondo specials out there. So if you can if you can salvage stand them, as we see, he does luck out and roll that FN resource, the salvage stand. If you can salvage stand them before you use those Hondo specials, you can guarantee the damage. Another great card for Hondo that is absolutely ridiculous is actually Occupation. It's a 2-cost red villain event that states play only if you control the battlefield, remove all resources, or force your opponent to lose all resources. That card is devastating late game. If FN Hondo can get the claim off and then play that card, you're gonna see your opponent without any resources roll out Hondo and just smash them in the face. So interesting turn to have seen no vehicles and no weapons drop. I'm assuming both players just had bad starting hands. That or well, interestingly enough, Karl actually opts to not chuck any cards, so he probably had a vehicle, probably just an expensive one. I don't know what it would be, but yeah, we're gonna see good old Hondo and Naka roll out again. A double disrupt is pretty solid, um, as well as the special. You couldn't really ask for a better roll. Be interested to see what weapons are going to come out from Luke this turn. I think his dream would probably be the Riot Baton, but even a thing like the Vibra Cutlass can be good, uh, especially when it eventually redeploys over to Hondo. But yeah, we're going to see Yoda roll out, and once again, we are missing these Yoda specials. He would have liked to have seen a special there, just to be able to steal. Karl is going to be forced to pay Luke at this point, because that 3 damage would have killed Ezra. Be interested to see 5 resources for FN. What type of upgrades is he going to put out this turn? And will he be able to do enough with them? Double Yoda special. That is pretty nuts. He could actually use these to go ahead and steal 2 resources from FN's side, um, if he chooses. We're going to see this holdout played. I think his dream would be rolling a resource. He rolls the 1, goes ahead and deals that to Ezra. It is ambush, so we're going to see another upgrade dropped. Yep, and this is the moment of truth. Can he roll the 2 naturally? Once again, if he chooses to re-roll with the Riboton die, he cannot resolve it with FN's ability, because the text says, I believe, immediately. You may immediately resolve it. So there's no chance to figure that after the Riboton re-roll. There's a ruling made a while back. It's going to be interesting to see what Karl decides to do here. If I'm him, I want to get use out of my Ezra dice before he falls, so I would probably resolve that 1 resource, but I really don't know. The other option is he could take some shields from Yoda, uh, but I don't know if that will ultimately end up being worth it. So Karl's going to go ahead and truce. He's going to then go ahead and flip, I assume, to an Ezra special. Steal that resource that he just truced immediately. So we should see him gain a resource. So he's sitting at 6 there. It'll be interesting to see if he resolves that other Yoda special. I would take a resource and then shield Ezra if I were him. And that is indeed what he's going to do. His other option was to leave that Yoda special there for focusing any future supports that were played. Double Disrupt comes through. I am really curious to know what Karl is holding on to, what type of cards he has in his hand. We're going to see that resource taken. Riot Baton being overwritten with another Riot Baton. So that is the 1 overwrite for this turn. Let's see what it can roll. This time he does hit that too. Unfortunately, now Ezra is safe with that shield there. Not quite the order of events that he would have preferred. That Ezra got a ton of value this turn. And here, I really hope that Karl can pull out a... oh, sad face. Probably has a vehicle or 2 in his hand, and then that garbage chute. You could see him garbage chute here to remove those damage dice. But I don't know if it's worth it or not. Yep, we are going to see the garbage chute. It is questionable just because that +2 is not resolvable yet, but at the same time, it does save Ezra, at least until next turn. Pirate Speeder Tank is dropped, so real shame. I'm curious to know if Karl didn't just want to instead pass there, tempt the FN player to go ahead and just roll in before he used the rally aid to make sure he got the value out of it. Karl rolls 3, so we're gonna see whom he decides to target here. This is an important decision. He's gonna go for Hondo. Interesting choice. I think it's a perfectly fine choice. Hondo is lower HP, so you can kill him faster. And the 3 damage is kind of nuts late game as long as the Hondo deck can find ways to disrupt. However, you could make the argument that going for FN is just the better play because Hondo can struggle to deal damage in late game. Hondo rolls out and misses the special, so it's going to be kind of poor for him. Ezra's rolling out here, but I don't expect him to get any value this turn. As long as the FN player has a single overwrite, the odds of him... I guess the odds aren't too great, but the danger is real for Ezra here to just get picked off by this roll. 33% chance is missed. It was close there. Looked for a while like it might turn up on that side. We're going to see him roll in. So that double Ezra special is useless, at least currently, because of the lack of resources on the FN side. So that is unfortunate for Karl. You do see Salvage Strand triggered there. Yeah, there's just so much natural synergy between these characters. Being able to ramp really hard with Hondo to gain resources that you can then pay for upgrades on FN. Both characters come out hitting really hard. You can see very early kills. There's so many cards that are available in Villain for resource control, like so many more than Hero. Hero's only real option is Diversion. Unless I could be missing some, so don't quote me on that. But there's definitely a lot of very powerful villain cards to be explored with Hondo. I think the biggest thing that you lose in the villain version is Second Chance. But if they want to go for Hondo first, then they can do that. I mean, you'll have an FN hitting you all game. I suppose the late game Second Chance is still good as well, but not quite as impactful. Although it does depend on the situation. That double special reroll is pretty nuts here for Luke. Looking at 6 damage, potentially. Resource comes out. Another Yoda special for a resource. And we could see a Pirate Speeder Tank special coming in for 2 damage and 2 shields. It is one of the best sides on the Speeder Tank. But you could also just see him take a shield with the other Yoda ability. The special also does give him another action, though, so you could see the potential for him to decide that he wants that action. Yep, he decides to go ahead and take the shield with the second Yoda ability. We're looking at potentially 6 damage coming here, but instead we're going to see 2 resources top the way, or thrown the way of FN. Not what you want to see as the Hero Vehicles player. FN with limitless resources is deadly. Not as deadly as he was pre changes to the overwrite rules, but still certainly a very scary opponent. Vibro Cutlass is thrown out. Well, is that 2 disrupt? He could choose to resolve it just so that he can re-roll it, roll it back in later with FN. But we're gonna see him try to re-roll this into something useful. Ooh, 4 for 1. About as good as he gets. Yeah, it is not looking good for the Vehicles player right now. So we're going to see 4 damage. Flame comes out. So yeah, just nothing coming out of the Vehicle player. Not enough resources. Oh well, for some reason when I was talking about that Vibro Cutlass choice, I was thinking that he hadn't rolled an FN, but he had. I'm crazy. Don't mind me, guys. I just realized that I've made a mistake. We're going to say hi. Hi, guys. I'm actually here. My beautiful face is now visible. See, roll comes out from the other player. Not exactly what he wanted to see. But I don't know that there's anything that he could see right now that would make him happy. A little bit unfortunate the way this game has gone. I mean, it did really look like he was ramping hard. At one point, he had the 7 resources, but between the 2 disrupt of Hondo and the specials result from Hondo and the salvage stand, he's just not been able to play any supports. Um, Vibro Knucklers comes out. If this card hits a double discard here, that would be nuts. Again, being able to pay the... Or you can just hit the 2 melee. We'll see if he pays the 1. He does choose to pay the 1. Deal the extra damage. You do see that occupation discarded there. Once again, the pay 2 to make your opponent discard all of their resources. Decent reroll there for Hondo. Double Disrupt and the Hondo Special both are extremely useful. We are going to need a miracle here for the vehicle deck to pull this out. Could see a reroll on that 2 shield. Using that Battlefield's ability. He's thinking about it. There's a lot of better sides than the shields, certainly. We'll see. Oh, nope. He just rolls the 2 shields. Okay. Life is hard. FN's gonna roll out, looking for a resource side there. He does hit it, so that's gonna be a salvage stand there. And the pain is coming. That is a lot of damage. 3, 6, potentially 3 more there, so 9 damage showing at this moment. Of course, he needs to resolve that FN resource to be able to pay for all that, but it certainly looks like a lot of pain is incoming. You can see special. Not a bad choice at all. Honda's going to come through with the 3 damage. Be interested to see what type of vehicles he can get out this turn. He's going to need... I don't know. He's going to need to buy like 5 vehicles. He does have a rally aid and a tech team, so if he rally aids and reveals a vehicle, he can pay it for essentially 3 less. Oof. That defensive position is going to hit 4 dice. Oof. That might give him a small chance. I say very small chance. He needs for his rally aid to hit a vehicle. So we could see some discards to rerolls here. If he has a 3-cost vehicle, he can still play it at this point. Oh, we're going to see another tech team drop. So yeah, let him have a 3-cost vehicle. We're going to see that rally aid being used here, I believe. And no, why did Karl? You can discard to reroll. Yeah, so that's something to be aware. You can always just discard to reroll 0 dice. Definitely the right choice there, just to make sure your rally hits the vehicle that's in his hand. But, alas, what can you do? Interesting. I really don't think there's anything now that vehicles can come back with. But, we'll see. I mean, theoretically, FN could just roll all blanks. And I see that Rally Aid right away again. I know, let's see C3PO, I guess. Um, Rally Aid is definitely a clunky card. The way that it is best used is by using it late in the turn when you know that you're going to hit a vehicle. But that can be awkward because you want rerolls for those vehicles as well. You see the salvage stand come out. Garbage chute. Take away those 2 damage dice. And now being left with no resources. Any Hondo specials rolled are going to... Ouch. That is 3 cards from the hand. Um, any Hondo specials that come out here are going to deal 3 damage at this point. We need to see the Yoda enter the pool most likely. Not the roll he was looking for. See what happens here. Missing those Hondo specials again, unfortunately. C3PO enter the pool. Does give the Yoda... Well, nope. Just kidding. Pirate Speeder Tank. Here we come. Rolls that special, which is quite useful. 2 shields removed. 2 damage. And 2 shields. So at least we do see some of what this vehicle deck has the potential to do. Mainly, its removal is so blowout that it can buy you tons of extra time. Make you survive. You've seen 2 Into the Garbage Chutes played here, and easy pickings, I believe, earlier on. And a defensive position, all this removal that hits tons of dice at the same time can just buy you turn, like a whole entire turn. Uh, the sad part for vehicles is that he never got out the uh, ramp that he needed to actually be able to see him actually flip the special. He cannot do that because he's C3PO. But whatever. So yeah, when you see 3PO, you're using an action. You're not really resolving specials. So he couldn't continue to resolve specials. Yeah, as I was saying, he doesn't have the vehicles out this game to actually make use of all this extra time that he has bought. Sadly enough for him, we're going to see that 2 Disrupt come out. And yeah, Hondo is not nice to play with. He is a mean human being. Two damage. He's going to pay 2, interestingly enough, to deal 2 to each. I'm curious why he didn't overwrite the Vibram Knucklers. I can see that the discard sides are really nice, but at the same time, Ride Baton having redeploy, well, I guess when you're going for Hondo, that doesn't matter. But I do feel like Ride Baton is just better than the Vibram Knucklers die, unless you're specifically looking for the discard. Which, discard does hurt a lot against vehicles. They do... Hand discard has always been the biggest issue for vehicles decks. They like to play all the cards in their hand. We'll see what happens here. If I were vehicles, I would just roll out that Yoda and try to get value out of him this turn before FN can just overwrite. Of course, I mean, it might be too late anyways, but gotta give it a try. Does roll that special. Oof. Tactical Mastery. This is probably the doom of potentially both characters here. But we have rolled terribly. We are going to see that 2-for-1 resolve most likely. Just to kill that Yoda. Definitely solid. But rolling, that was not the roll that he was looking for. Truce is going to come up. I'm curious to see why. Potentially, we're going to see a sport dropped here. Pirate Speeder Tank. He's going to exhaust 2 tech teams. Most likely. Or 1 tech team. Do it, Karl. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Nope, we'll just see the 1 tech team exhausted for that Pirate Speeder Tank. 2, 3, it should cost both at this point. Unless he exhausts both tech teams. Cool. Hondo's going to come out here. And once he could just roll double special and this game could just be over. He does not, however. Now he exhausts the tech team? Oh, cool. So he leaves that resource there. Dissolves the other tech team. Cool. That is perfect for him, actually. That special is very solid. Bout's going to come up. Though, one of the reasons why Pirate Speeder Tank is so good for vehicles is that it doesn't have any bad sides, really, besides the plank. So if we look here, the worst side, 2 shields, but beyond that, 3 direct damage, 4 indirect, 5 for 1 indirect, and a special that is 4 damage swing and gives you an additional action. Compare that to like the old option of like the old Falcon, which only had the 3 damage and the 4 damage side. It could just straight miss. Be interested to see what happens here. Oof, double specials and a 4 for 1. This game is not looking pretty. Both, I don't think there's any good removal that would really work here besides defensive position, but that would open up the double specials for the kill. Now we might see Karl just go out with a bang, pain 1, to deal that 5 damage. And out goes the Ricky Pilot. So yeah, Hondo FN might be a really good deck actually. um, but yeah, you can see that the resource control there, as Karl flips the table. Resource control is really on the deck. Salvage Stand works really well with Hondo. Now, once you only have Hondo there with 3 upgrades, it can be worse because Hondo doesn't have any resource sides itself. But FN rolls so many dice that as long as you have both of them there, the Salvage Strand is just so much value. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this casual cast. And we will see you again sometime else.